we've had a series of nice little progressive victories here in some of these primaries, most notably Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But there's another little victory that happened in Maine. They approved ranked choice voting. It's something we talk a lot about on the show. I'm a big proponent of open primaries. Many of you have brought up ranked choice voting. I love ranked choice voting. It's a great idea. And it passed in Maine. And I'm going to read you some of the statistics here. What ranked choice voting is if there's 3 or more candidates, you get to rank. And there's a sample here. It's from FairVote.org is the link, and it's in the show notes below. But you'll see the governor's race that they had 8 people to choose. So what you do is you have the 8 names on there, and then you pick. I want this person first, second, third, fourth, fifth, seven, 8, right? That's awesome. Now, ranked choice voting, what it does is it gives independents and it gives third-party candidates a shot. Imagine if we had ranked choice voting in the last presidential election, right? The 4 major candidates: Trump, Hillary, Gary Johnson, and Jill Stein. Right? And you had to rank all of them. Okay, I go Jill Stein 1, I go Gary Johnson 2, Hillary 3, Trump 4. Imagine that. You could have done that. You could have done that. Or flip-flop, Trump and Hillary 3, 4, 4, 3, whatever. Or put Gary Johnson 1 and Jill Stein 2. You could have done that. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. The 2 parties don't want that to happen. But when you start passing these in little states like Maine and stuff like that, cities have passed this. Santa Fe, New Mexico, San Francisco, they're all trying to do this. I'm going to read you some statistics here. Gets me excited when we get these little victories happening, right? Come on now, progressives. Fire up. 80%, well, this writing came in the day after the primary, and ranked choice voting was in the lead, 54 to 46, with 80% of the precincts voting. It already passed. And here's what this FairVote.org columnist is, what their theory is. We think a big reason for the win on question 1 was the fact that all partisan primary voters had a chance to vote with ranked choice voting races for governor before voting on the referendum question itself. People liked having more choice on the ballot box. That's why people keep saying this about ranked choice voting. We just again, the presidential election, 80-some% of the people that voted for Trump and Hillary said they did lesser of 2 evils. So why wouldn't we want this in America? The country of we want the best, right? America's the only place where our political system, the most important thing, politics that affects all of our daily lives more than anything else, is a place where we go, lesser of 2 evils, it's a shitty system. What? Nowhere else would we accept that. There's nowhere else we would accept that. Nowhere. There's nowhere you would accept that. Well, we're going to live in a house with termites or we're going to live in a house with rats. Those are our only choices. We would never accept either one of those. So here's some more good statistics. Turnout in Maine was higher than expected, just as we saw last week in San Francisco and last March in Santa Fe. It was a long, grueling fight to bring ranked choice to the state. The Ranked Choice Voting Act has been under constant assault with legal and legislative threats from the very beginning, all the way until Election Day itself, when Maine Governor Paul LePage made the blustery proclamation that he would probably refuse to certify election results, which is a legally meaningless claim. But the will of the people won out. Will of the people. In the whole statewide in Maine, 4 primary contests had more than 3 candidates and therefore made use of the new ranked choice system. On the Democratic side, 7 candidates ran for governor and 4 candidates ran for Maine's 2nd congressional district. On the Republican side, 4 candidates ran for governor and 3 ran for Maine's state House District 75. Every Republican and Democratic voter in Maine voted with a ranked ballot. That's big. That's big. The League of Women Voters of Maine, in partnership with Maine Citizens for Clean Elections, provided excellent voter education resources at mainerankchoice.vote. That's why some of these non-for-profit organizations are important to monitor stuff. Maine Secretary of State Matt Dunlop did a commendable job administering the election, providing sample ballots, a FAQ, and his own electoral video on the Secretary of State website. The Ranked Choice Voting Resource Center communicated with Dunlop to ensure Maine would follow best practices, all contributing to a successful election day. Nearly 50,000 more voters weighed in on question 1 than voted in the Democratic and Republican gubernatorial primaries combined. What does that tell you? 50,000 more people than the two-party governor races combined jumped in to vote on ranked choice voting. That's how important people thought it was. And Maine, I've been up there as one of these like kind of libertarian states, you know. People are like very liberal, but they like their Second Amendment. Like it's a very unique place. So this is amazing. Maine's next ranked choice voting election, November 6th. On that day, voters will rank their choices in the general elections in the U.S. Senate and U.S. House in both of Maine's 2 congressional districts. All 3 contests have more than 2 candidates declared. So that means every voter in Maine will have the opportunity to rank their choices. Every voter in Maine, come November 6th, will have the opportunity to rank their choices. Let's all start looking to Maine and see how that shakes out. I bet you, we already have seen it in the primary, I bet you we're going to have high voter turnout. Oh, isn't this weird when you actually give the voters options and the choice to rank candidates? Wait a minute now. Little old candidates are going to get ranked. You have to rank every single one. The peace and freedom person is going to get something. They're going to get something. And who knows how that could shake it up. What it will probably do is start knocking out the stranglehold that the two-party system has. I bet you'll see high voter turnout. And see how they're doing it in Santa Fe and San Francisco? Start doing that. Again, I say it all the time. Petition on a local level. Get this on your ballot. Might be too late for November. I don't know. Great. Get it in the next election. This is the kind of stuff that engages people. We want a healthy democracy. We want high voter turnout. We want people voting and getting involved. We want discussions and debates and conversations on a national level. We should be doing this. Not just letting these 2 corporate war parties just dictate whatever the fuck they're going to do for their own profits, and then we're all sucking on it. This is awesome. This is a big victory. It's a big progressive victory. So, thanks for watching the show, you guys. And thanks for being a political vigilante.